All right, let's do a little more serious forecast here. We'll head to spaceweathernews.com. The sun currently has some active regions, and there's a coronal hole about to rotate through. However, at the current time, there's a lull in the activity, which means as that coronal hole connects probably later today, you're looking at an increased chance of things like earthquakes and severe volcanic eruptions. As you can see, for the time being, the solar wind density and speed has returned to like more or less background levels. So we're kind of in a B level now, or a little lower than that, as far as X-ray flares. The KP index is now back down to 1. So when this pops back up, that's when activity is going to happen. Also, the electron flux looks like it's flatlined, at least on the high energy scale of things. So got to keep an eye on that electron flux. That's a serious thing. Lastly, and this is really what the video is about, the KP index is very low. You see how weak the ionosphere F2 level is here. You've only got 7 megahertz at your highest point. So when this coronal hole reconnects, it's going to be reconnecting to a very weak magnetosphere. That said, I was looking at some interesting possible electrical low pressure effects going on, and here's the shortwave animation of the U.S. just before dawn on June 25th. And I noticed some different things here. I'm going to save the best for last. First of all, you've got this one here. You've got some lines forming, which are at perpendicular angles to things, which is very indicative of electrical phenomenon. Also, you see this, it looks like a blast wave coming out. I'm sure that's an electromagnetic field force line. Over Louisiana, you can see a cloud just kind of evaporating. Actually, two different clouds evaporating. And that's not an area of pressure gradient, so there's something besides pressure affecting it. And lastly, look at this great, off the coast of South Carolina and Georgia. Look at that interesting wave coming out of that cloud. That's an electromagnetic field force bubble, where there's an ionization path that's getting bent by the combination of the density of the atmosphere and all that water vapor. And of course, right here, here's your overall field force line. And that's hitting the atmosphere and breaking up, and then finally at its terminus, down at this end, you have like a bubble forming that you can actually see, because the clouds, the water vapor, is showing us where that's located.